Good morning, gentlemen. Active Aussie MGTOW here. Tuesday morning, it's about 11 a.m. I'm just going for a bit of a walk, a bit of a hike through a part of the forest where I haven't been for quite a long time, and I just thought whilst I'm here I'd make a fairly brief video. What I want to discuss this morning is men in their early 50s, mid 50s, late 50s who are still dating, and you could say in some instances, circumstances, men who are still simping. And as you know, I think that dating is a total waste of time and money in 2024 for all men regardless of age. So whether you're a man who's in his 20s or a guy in his 40s or some bloke in his 50s, mid 50s, late 50s, I don't know why men are still dating, but especially for older men, I feel that when we are in our 50s, it's a time to start winding down and taking it easy, and you should start to be doing things for you. And I don't mean you should just be totally selfish, like if there is a so-called worthy cause that you want to donate your time to, well, yeah, you can still do that, like do some volunteering, community work, whatever. But you might have certain people within your family who are so-called hangers-on or self-serving leeches, so to speak. And I made a video before about how we should get these sort of toxic individuals out of our life. These kinds of people who are just users. But back to dating with women in particular. You see some of these guys, and I've talked about the men in their 50s, late 50s, who are going to the Philippines and getting involved with 22-year-olds. And these men are just nothing but resource providers. And I just feel that men should be starting to relax within their 50s, and especially by the time you are in your mid to late 50s, you should have learnt quite a few life lessons, and you should realise at that age that most relationships are parasitic in nature nowadays. So I don't have much time for most people now. I have a very low tolerance level for any sort of bullshit and people who just talk crap and people who grift and people who are lazy and don't want to work and like do an honest day's work. Something that really grinds my gears, and I've made a few videos about that before. But how about you guys? Do you know anybody within your family, or you might have a few friends, blokes in their 50s who are still dating, simping? Are they getting themselves in trouble? What sort of things have happened to them? And it's a real waste of time, I feel, trying to talk sense into these men if they haven't learnt their lesson by the time they're in their 50s. There's really not much hope for them, and these could be men who are divorced. They might even be divorced twice, and they're still doing stupid things. I know a guy, an Australian guy here in Brisbane, who I actually knew when I was living in China. He lived near me. I didn't know him before I moved over to Nanning in China, but he's one of these I'll worship women type guys, and eventually I just cut him out of my life, because even though we'd go out to the pub and have a few beers and have a few laughs and that, I just lost respect for him, and so did some other guys I know, even blue pillars. They say women just use him and rip him off, and he still stays with them. And you often hear this in regard to younger men, but you don't really hear about it in regard to the older men. And you might have come across some of these stupid dating sites for older men, like or date your age or some bullshit like that. And it's amazing how men get sucked in by this nonsense. Anyway, gents, that's about all I've really got to say. Just got a branch down there, probably blew down, snapped off during the storms we've had lately. On Saturday, on the way to where I made the last video, I saw the top of the forest. A lot of the branches had just been sheared off, and some of the trees had just been snapped in half, and that's where the Category 3 storm came through and severely damaged houses at Helensvale and Tallabudgera, Pimpamar, Coomera, that area. So it was quite amazing to see it, but I couldn't really take a video because it was just on the side of the busy highway, but I was quite startled to see that. Anyway, guys, that's about all for now. Looks like a bit of rain, possibly a storm's going to come through, but if it's just an ordinary thunderstorm, that'll be great. We'll cool things down a bit. That's all for now, and hopefully I'll talk to you again very soon.